Victor Herbert Strahm was the youngest of three children born to German immigrant Franz and Alice Strahm. A successful director of music and theater for the city of Nashville, Victor's father, Franz, was recruited by Dr. Henry Hardin Cherry to lead the music program at Western Kentucky State Normal School in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Thus began Victor Strahm's life in Kentucky. Bowling Green offered many amenities in 1910 that other towns its size could not. In addition to two theaters, they had a YMCA, complete with an indoor swimming pool and gymnasium. The YMCA also found sponsors that were willing to provide shirts and prizes for youth teams in baseball and basketball. Activities in Bowling Green revolved around community sports. Young Victor enjoyed playing baseball, football, and basketball during his school years. After graduating with a teacher's certificate from Western Kentucky State Normal School in 1915, he then enrolled in the University of Kentucky's engineering program. When the United States declared war on its ancestral homeland in Germany in the spring of 1917, Victor eagerly dropped out of UK and signed up for military service. He departed for Fort Benjamin, Harrison, Indiana, to become an infantryman. During this same time, France's Premier Ribot was requesting 5,000 pilots and 4,500 airplanes from the United States in hopes of having them delivered by the spring of the following year. The U.S. had 7 aircraft and 14 pilots, so the Army desperately began their search for pilots. Vic answered one of the ads searching for college students with an electrical engineering background. Testing of prospective pilots was intense because of the large number of applicants. One qualifier was to test equilibrium by spinning the applicant violently around on a piano stool. This was not a problem for Victor, since he was not the music student that his father had hoped for, and young Victor had some familiarity with spinning on a piano stool. Victor completed ground school and then flight training at Wright Field in Dayton. He soloed and received his commission as a second lieutenant before continuing to Manola, Long Island for advanced training. Lieutenant Strahm was assigned to the 91st Aero Squadron, which shipped out of the RMS Adriatic headed for France. They arrived with no planes, no guns, no combat experience, just 5 short months after entering flight school. So flight school continued at Issoudun Aerodrome in France. Vic's first plane assignment was the Salissum 2A2, gathering photos behind enemy lines. Although the Salissum was considered inferior to German planes, he managed to shoot down 3 Fokkers and a Faz, and a Rumbler 2-seater as a reconnaissance pilot. His last confirmed kill was just 6 days before the armistice. Victor H. Strahm was now an ace. He was made a flight commander of the 91st Aero Squadron in August and decorated with the U.S. Distinguished Service Cross by General William Billy Mitchell a short time later. All aviators in the 91st Aero Squadron who received the Distinguished Service Cross were presented to the Prince of Wales for a private audience. Victor received several other medals: the French Croix de Guerre with gold and silver palms, British Distinguished Flying Cross, Italian Gold Medal for Valor. He also received citations from General John J. Pershing and General Mitchell for heroism in battle. General Mitchell advised pilots to stay active after the war as test pilots to enter air races in preparation for the next conflict. Victor remained in the Army as a test pilot and later as a chief test pilot, testing the B-10, which was the predecessor to the B-17 and B-24. He also tested the P-12 and P-26 Pea-shooter pursuit planes. Victor was an advisor for Hollywood aviation movies and appeared briefly in one film while flying as a stunt pilot. He participated in several air races, finishing first in the National Southern Air Tournament in Bel Air, Florida, and third in 2 other races. During World War II, General Strahm was the senior planner for the 10th Air Force in the China-Burma-India theater, where more than 1 million troops and 1 million tons of supplies were airlifted over the hump into China. He was later transferred to the 9th Air Force to serve as Chief of Staff in North Africa and Great Britain. While in England, Strahm assisted the 9th Air Force in their preparation of the tactical air support for the Normandy invasion on D-Day. Victor's service awards for World War II were the U.S. Legion of Merit with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Polish Legion of Honor Commendation, Commander of the Order of the British Empire, French Legion of Honor, World War II Victory Medal, European African Middle East Ribbon, American Theater Ribbon, American Defense Ribbon, and the Asian Pacific Theater Ribbon. After the war, General Strahm served as base commander at Barksdale Air Force Base and later as commander of the 33rd Air Division at Tinker Air Force Base. He retired in 1953 with 36 years of service. Victor died in May of 1957 and is buried in Shreveport, Louisiana, beside his second wife. He was enshrined in the Western Kentucky University Hall of Distinguished Alumni in 2012. Strahm distinguished himself during both World Wars as an aviation pioneer, a leader in military air tactics, and an intrepid defender of freedom. It is therefore fitting that Brigadier General Victor Herbert Strahm be enshrined into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.